All right. Well, it's done. And I know it's going to divide opinion. I know it is. I know there's purists out there that say it was beautifully scale and blah, 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 blah. And do you know what? It was, but it was also a bit namby-pamby. It was a bit too nice. It's like that perfectly formed, I don't know, it was just too nice. It was just too perfect. It wasn't menacing enough for me. It wasn't purposeful enough for me. So anyway, let me run you through. Firstly, this thing is one of the hardest trucks I've ever worked on in terms of working out without the instructions. Of course, I'm a man, how to take things off or whatever, but once I did work out how to take bodies off, take cages off, it did go all right. The front end is very complicated, but I understand it now. Seems to be quite robust, and the rear end is basically completely replaced. So let me take you to the next level that we got to, which was I was going to put the rear end together. Well, here is the rear end. It's all Vitavon, it's all gold, of course, and it's gone together beautifully. And again, interestingly, Vitavon don't just remake the parts. This is a completely redesigned third member. So the Traxxas third member splits down the middle, two halves. This one splits like the center diff in two sections from the front, which means that you can work easier through this, and it also gives it more rigidity. So overall, a very improved rear end. I've also got the Vitavon uprated axles in here as well. It's all gone together. I haven't had any issue with the Vitavon stuff. Well, one, but I'll discuss that in a minute, and it's not necessarily Vitavon. In the rear end, these are not finished yet, so they're not painted, but these are stainless steel spars that I put in myself to just strengthen it. I haven't tidied any of this lot up yet, so forgive me. I will tidy it up. I will fine file it and paint these and make it all look pretty, but it's agricultural, and I love it. I love that look. I love that bobbed look. It's got rid of all that weight flopping around at the rear end, and I've put more unsprung weight down here, so the traction will remain good, and the springs aren't working too hard. So I'm pleased with that. On the front end, you saw all the bits and pieces go in, so let's talk about the Vitavon. Sway bars, they're completely redesigned. They clip onto the front of the chassis here, which is really great. And the rear Vitavon sway bars clip onto the chassis here, and the originals went through here. A lot of folk going on about, oh, the originals definitely need changing because they don't work. The original sway bar worked just fine. It's just that where it was mounted to, there was so much movement. With these two stainless steel spars, there's no movement in the lower half here. There still is flex in the top, but there's none here. This is all kind of triangulated as best I could, so it's super tough now. That rear end ain't going anywhere. The body is the original body. It's cut, and I have painted it. It's got some dust on it. I have painted it with Tamiya on the outside, black PS5 or whatever it is, and then my military grade matte clear coat over then the stickers, then the clear coat over the top of the stickers, so they are also clear coated on. Or did I do? No, I did a clear coat, then the stickers, then clear coat. So they've gone on, and just basic stickers. I've also used, my mate Nick, prints these really nice 3S LEDs. I've got one in here, and one on the bottom end underneath the front bumper to light up all of this alloy beautifulness underneath here. So that is the body. I've just been experimenting with a 3S battery in there, but I'm probably going to run a balance cable down and inside the battery bay. ESC, I think its original motor ESC, I think will start off with a Max 6, although I am tempted to put a big Castle Creations ESC in there and run 8S, but we'll see. I haven't done the electronics yet. The wheels and tyres. Well, I found out that the wheels are the Vitavon V1 wheels. I don't know if they've sent me those by accident or not. It doesn't specify in the original listing where I bought them, to be fair. But these are the V1 wheels. And the difference between V1 and V2 is that V1, the front bead recess is smaller, because Proline had, this is the V2 Hyrax tyre that they do. The V1s had a smaller bead. Then Proline changed the beads, and Vitavon had to update their wheels. Unfortunately, I got the V1s, so I needed to cut half of the bead out of these brand new Proline Hyraxes, which took forever because I didn't want to destroy them. I wanted it to work. Yeah, it took me about, I would say, an hour, just under an hour a wheel, so half a day basically, with shaking hands or whatever. And just to show you, all of these are T8 star hexes, and to get them actually bedded down like that, I had to use, where are they? These are the 3 T8 hex keys that I have. This one is the one that did most of the work. This is a what's hardened steel tip. Look how chewed up it is and twisted. That's how much torque I was putting on it by hand to get them the last way, to get them to lock down on the front bead. Now I know this one lasted 2 seconds, and this one lasted maybe half a wheel. Now I know that they will never come off. And they're completely airtight, which, as anybody who's done bead locks know, you've got a good seal when your wheels are airtight and they don't have breathers on the wheels. That's a good seal. So they will work, but they were a schlep to get on. Nice Vitavon shock towers in the rear as well. More triangulation, alloy triangulation in the rear, and I'm super stoked with it. I love the gold on this M-UDR, the Murder UDR. I love the lights. I think it's going to be a great basher, and I'm going to thoroughly enjoy beating the living daylights out of it. I don't think this one is going to get sold unless someone was to offer me a significant amount of money. You guys know how much there is in Vitavon in here alone. I wouldn't sell it for anything less than about £1.5 grand, to be honest. So it's probably going to stay here, and I'm going to bash the living daylights out of it. But I just wanted to show you it. My M-UDR. It's badass. Peace.